Hi everyone, it's me, Eartha. Come walk with me as we move forward from our last series about microaggressions. Let's grow from that and grow into a perspective that's different. Instead of focusing in on our weaknesses, let's expand our brains and grow beyond our weaknesses. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started.
Weakness focus means the focus is on the negative parts of a person. So, like, as we're looking at this playground, and let's say this climbing wall has a scale on it, and like the bottom part of the scale of this climbing wall is -5, and then like the middle part of the climbing wall would be 0, and then the top part of the climbing wall would be +5. And so if we're looking at negative weakness focus, a lot of treatments and interventions focus on a person who is in the bottom half of the climbing wall. So they may have whatever, depression, anxiety, and it's preventing them from, let's say, the achieving 0, which is maybe activities of daily living, going to work. And so a lot of the treatments and interventions, sessions are geared towards from -5 to 0. So the focus is on the weak performance. Maybe at work, and a performance evaluation is given, and the managers, the administration is focused on the weak performance. They come up with training plans, interventions to help the employee with their weaknesses. And the weaknesses are scaled from -5 to 0. Okay? Okay, is that part clear? Okay. So let's continue. So after World War II, psychology became a science. And most of the focus was on the lower portion of that scale from 0 to -5. And so it focused mostly on the dysfunctional part of a behavior. And as a result, through lots of studies, research saw that treatments were geared towards helping a person eliminate things that cause the person to stay in that realm of -5 to 0. And so what's wrong with that, right? I mean, you have a discipline, a science that's focused on helping people find treatments and cures for their psychological traumas and anxieties and illnesses. What's wrong with that? That's one question. But here's something. What happened was the concentration grew so strong in focusing on the dysfunction and helping and people become cured, that the preventive measures were lacking. to help a person into a psychological well-being. Okay, so we're back on the playground, and let's say this part represents the -5. The middle circle represents the 0 part of the scale, and that upper part represents the +5. And so with the weakness focus we're focused on the area between here, which is 0, to here. So the treatment plans and psychological dysfunctions and most of the treatments help the person get to the middle section. The middle section represents helping a person achieve maybe functional levels, activities of daily living and working. But what the research found it was running short was these preventative measures to help a person either achieve a well-being or maybe even like for a family, preventative measures if they had some kind of psychological, or if they were weakness focused, they would concentrate on this area instead of what can be done to help a person get stronger in their strengths, because the part of the scale is right here from the middle to the top are the strengths, are the positive focuses. The research indicated, it came out, it says if a concentration is just focused on the weak part, weak focused or negative focus, the best a person can do is just to be average, because you're going from below in the minus zone up to 0. So the best a person can achieve is average. Whereas if a plan of thought, of treatments is focused on the 0 to +5, then, which is the strengths or the positive focus, the person can grow stronger in their behaviors and in their wellness plan. And the thought is that when they become stronger in their strengths, they'll be stronger to deal with negativity, and that negativity will get smaller because their strengths are growing. Let's meditate on that for a little bit. Okay. And so the weakness-focused model is also referred to as the disease-focused model, where the focus is mostly on the disease, and the therapist or the treatments and sessions are geared towards eliminating the different symptoms. So when a person has gone through maybe a mindfulness treatment plan or a plan where they are not experiencing any of their symptoms of anxiety or depression, would that mean the opposite? So if a person is feeling sad and anxious, would that mean once all the symptoms of anxiety and depression are gone, does that mean that they would feel happy? That's what this study that I'm presenting to you challenged. In 2005, the World Health Organization challenged that weakness, disease-focused model, and stated, just because a person is not having symptoms of anxiety, it doesn't mean that they will be joyful. And so the focus began to turn on what does it mean when a person can focus on their well-being. If I could summarize this without getting anybody confused, it means a person can go through life with coping skills and to experience levels of joy at their level, where they are at. Doesn't mean that they're avoiding stress, doesn't mean they're avoiding different parts of life. It means they have coping skills that will help them through and grow in their coping skills to achieve a joyful state, a well-being state at the level where they're at. I'm just thinking, so if correcting weaknesses doesn't mean optimum performance, then why are we focusing on just the weaknesses? Kind of makes you think. So with a positive focus, the focus is on a person's strength and tuning in to those different strengths, the creativities of those strengths, the awareness of a person's strengths, and then building on that. And so instead of starting at -5 and climbing to 0, starting at 0, wherever a strength is, and then strengthening the person. And when I say strengthening the person, I mean building on a person's positive behaviors, starting with 0 and then working towards the +5. And everyone is different, of course, what their strengths are, what their talents are. But instead of starting from their weaknesses, start from the strengths. And so this model of focusing on the person's strengths and the positive parts of the person's behavior in the psychology world is thought of as the health model, the health or well-being model, where the strengths of the person's characters and behaviors, encouragements, positivity is strengthened and encouraged, rather than the negative parts of a person's behavior, because none of us are perfect and we all have weaknesses. It takes a total change in mindset. It means breaking old thoughts and habits of the way we view ourselves and how we view how we can improve ourselves. Instead of thinking of ourselves as broken, we can maybe think of ourselves as, we're put together the right way we are supposed to, and some of those weaknesses means maybe it's just time to change and to let go of certain behaviors, and maybe it's really an opportunity to use our joy and our happiness to create something new and different. That could mean a career change, a lifestyle change, maybe change an environment so we can have better ideas in doing our work or our school work or whatever. It's just a different mindset. Instead of focusing on what's not there, maybe we can focus on the beauty that is there.